look on the inside of my pot. Maybe I'll put my hand down there to get a feel for how wide it is. So it's like that wide here. So I can take off, I basically want everything to be the same thickness as this wall, right? So I will make my foot about that thick, and then I can remove, so this is where the inside of my foot starts, so I can remove a little bit less than half of the volume from the inside. You guys will see what I mean once I start. Because it's a little dry, I might use a little water to suction cup it. So you can use these lines to help you center.
Maybe over there.
Does anyone have a needle tool?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, I'm just gonna borrow all of your tools.
The cutting will happen on this side.
So then I'm going to draw a line like this. And basically what we're doing here is we're drawing a circle so that we can center this circle within this circle, the outer one. So I'm gonna just cut this in 4, let's say. Let's call this A, B, C. So you see how there's less clay sort of in the hemisphere D?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna move it in that direction so that there could be some more clay there. Okay, so now I'm gonna draw another line right outside my previous circle.
Oh.
Right? So now I see that still we need a little bit more clay in C and a little bit more in D, so it's going to be like in that way, in that direction. Now I'm going to draw another line. And that seems alright.
So that's just making sure that it's centered on the wheel.
Yeah.
That's good technique, ABCD.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you'll be able to just move it around, but it's definitely helpful in the beginning. So, because it's a little bit dry, I'm going to put some water. And then I'm going to start removing the clay with my tool. Oh, also, if you want to, that doesn't really feel so. Oh well. If you want to secure it a tiny bit, you can take a bit of clay, 3 pieces. My clay is really soft, so I don't think it's gonna do much. This is like your trimming training wheels. In the future, you won't need them, or you can probably get away without using them. You hold your hand down. As soon as you have it centered, you really, really have to remember to hold this down while you put these on, because otherwise you just will ruin all the work that you've done to get it centered. Not gonna work. Okay. So, now I'm going to slowly start removing the clay. I always go fairly slow with both my tool and my pedal, and I apply a little bit of pressure at a time. Okay, so once I get all the excess off, I can now decide, like, okay, what kind of foot do I want? If I wanted it to be round, I can keep going with my round tool. If I wanted it to be straight, I can now just go in with my straight rectangular tool and slowly bring it into a vertical position by removing a little bit of clay at a time. Right? And then
soothing to watch.
I really like trimming too, so it gets pretty nice.
What if you trim too much?
Then you fuck it up.
Oh my god.
What? Just then you recycle it. It doesn't matter. None of this really matters. So there you go.
I was watching this video this morning and the woman was like, and then the pot gives its life so that you can learn. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, there's
Thank
some
you,
really
Bot.
good videos with some really good background music.
So that's what happens, is the pot gives its life for you.
It's beautiful.
Okay, so there you go. You got the side, and now we're gonna do the bottom. I don't really remove any clay from the very bottom apart from this, just to make it
Wow,
smooth.
that looks so much smoother already.
So now I'm going to go in with this tool and I'm gonna start articulating where my interior base is gonna be. I don't know how centered this is. So you want to take the corner of your tool and you make a groove. After I make that groove, I'm going to just define the interior edge of my foot. There we go. And then I'm going to start removing the clay from the center, and just a little bit at a time. In the beginning, I will suggest to only go from the outside in, because sometimes when you go this way, you can skip over your foot, and it's hard to fix that, apart from just taking off the whole foot and making the bottom flat.
But it doesn't matter, right?
What?
It doesn't matter inside to outside or outside to inside.
I would say in the beginning to go from outside in, because when you go from inside out, if you skip over your foot, you have more of a chance of doing that than if you're just always slowly starting here and then moving in.
But result is the same.
What?
Is that gonna be the same?
Like
if you didn't mess it up, it would be the same.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which direction, but I would say for the beginning to keep it safe, so to
Okay.
speak. There's like weird chunks of stuff in here. You know, when I first started teaching, I was definitely not a pro, and there have been times where I would go through the bottom.
I was actually going to ask you, like, how often now as a expert ceramicist
I don't know if I'm an expert, but
Sure, right. But, okay.
that's the problem. You're always learning, and
Of
you're never
course.
going to be an expert.
But, like, how often do you mess up pots, if you will?
I don't.
Do you mess up your own work? Like, you still, because you experiment, right? So,
Yeah, but I don't experiment on things that I want to,
be perfect.
there's not much that's perfect, so. But I don't, like, trim through the bottom of stuff very often. Like, I don't remember the last time I did.
It's a good trick to not go to the bottom, like to like test it. Like tap, tap, tap.
Oh, what's a good trick? Nothing. Just remember how thick your piece is. You can do the tap tap, but I don't know what it means.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
It
great.
sounds
It looks
higher, I guess, when
professional.
it's thinner. So do it in the beginning and then at the end.
But would you connect it? Like, wouldn't you be able to know if it was kind of weak? No?
No, it's hard, so it's not really. Okay, so what was I gonna say? I don't know.
I was something about trimming.
If it's softer, it'll start sinking, but that also means that it's too soft to trim.
Like how many days?
So remember, when you make your pieces, just try to make the same thickness all the time, right? And then when I said I don't take a lot off the bottom, I mean this is my original bottom, this clay right here. So I know that my foot is this deep on the inside. So I don't really want to go much more than what I've already done for it to be even everywhere.
Like how many days would you wait for it to dry? I mean, you can't say, or because all solid different.
Days for what?
For it to dry before you trim it.
Oh, yeah, it does. I don't know.
It depends.
It depends if you cover it well, if it's in a dry room, in a warm room, if it's humid outside.
What does it
If
feel
your
like
clay
when
was-
it's ready to trim?
Leather hard.
Leather.
Okay, so then you always want to like burnish it with a sponge and your finger, because any very sharp edges will chip.
Are you putting pressure at all with your finger?
Yeah.
When I trim it, a lot of times I get like a little ledge right here. Is it because my clay is too soft?
This?
Yeah, like if I'm trimming here, I end up with a tiny ledge on the lip.
Yeah, you can just remove it.
It never gets really perfect.
Well,
I guess I'll just.
it's just time and practice. There's a chunk of some mystery meat in there. Okay, and then you can, finish it up as much as you want or able to. And then you're done.
Beautiful.